Got women out here can't find a man because they acting like him. You are alpha.
It don't matter how old a man gets, he's always gonna have options. Younger, finer, fitter, willing, but they wasted all their time telling all these good men, oh no, you're not my type, and I need a man that's gonna do all this stuff for me. You too broke for me.
What's up, everybody? It's Manny Brandon back with Manny's Fitness Fortress, the citadel of power. All right, guys, we got a lot to unpack today. Today I'm going to be talking about the mental health of, specifically the mental health of African American women. We got a lot to unpack. Some very much needed topics that need to be discussed. My channel is a fitness health, nutrition health, and mental health channel too. So we're going to cover mental health because mental health is just as important as physical health and, emotional and all that kind of stuff. We're going to get into Simone Owens, the plight of African American women in dating, why 80% of them are obese. These numbers have been measured in metrics basically for the last 10 years, but it's a lot of uncontrollable things and a lot of fantasy out there, which is the reason why a lot of African American women can't maintain healthy relationships, let alone marriage and trying to acquire a partnership to develop a family and have children before the age of 35, that wall. We're going to get into all that right now.
Are you ready?
Now, the first thing is I want you to do is check out this clip off Instagram. Just check out the unhealthy, the toxic masculinity of these women. That's right, you heard me right. Toxic masculinity of these women towards another woman because she has a happy life, a very flourishing relationship with her husband. They're trying to remove the position of the husband as the head of the family, as the provider, the protector, as the king, in essence. Check out this clip.
Simone Biles heard what you all said about her husband, about him saying that he's the prize and he's the catch, and she wants you to know this. She says, call me Jonathan Owens' wife.
Hey, refer to me as Mrs. Owens. She said that. And all these miserable ass women came out of nowhere and said this.
Simone, we love you too much to do that. We're not going to let you dim your light so that his can shine. You are a 4-time gold medalist. You are the most decorated Olympian in history. We are not going to let this man and his fragile ego.
This is her husband. These women are so angry and so miserable. Well, they don't want a married woman to just simply be married. When a man marries a woman, she takes on his last name. So she would be Mrs. Owens. So for you to sit here and say, no, we're not going to do that. Legally, you have to do that because her name would be different. Like, what is wrong with these damn women? But like I said, these women will never see the lights of a marriage. So they don't know what to do with themselves. I know y'all want to be so important and so valuable. And y'all can be important and valuable when y'all get therapy, when y'all lose some weight and actually become wives instead of these little miserable, dysfunctional little people, then somebody would actually start valuing y'all.
We're going to get into that, but we're going to show you this next clip real quick. These characteristics that a lot of black women, boast as a badge of honor, these were looked at as a detriment to a woman back in the 70s, 80s, your grandmothers. They would never bragged about having these qualities. Check out this next clip.
Y'all brag about the fact that y'all don't cook. You brag about the fact that you're not cleaning for nobody. You brag about the fact that you're selfish. You brag about all these things that are contrary to what a man wants. What happens is they start approaching that wall. Y'all brag about...
Last clip that I thought was very relevant. I'm sure all of you have seen the Cat Williams debacle by now. One of the things he talked about was a very short segment, just a couple of minutes, was the masculinity of women. All these great women, these black women, great bodies, beautiful faces, can't find healthy relationships with good black men because they're trying to be them. There's so much toxic masculinity. Back in the day, you used to just go up to a girl who was single and say, hey, you want to go to the movies? Would like to go bowling? Like, yeah, sure. Now it's like, who are you? What's your bag? What you got? Where you from? Like, what are you driving? He said it best. There's so much toxicity in women, African American women today. Not all. Who this applies to know who it applies to. We're used to women that are, fertile, beautiful, compassionate, agreeable. Women who want to be led, or are not afraid to be led, who are not afraid to be taught something, who are not afraid to have a protector and a provider. That's gone. I really, really don't want to believe something that Angry Man said about a year ago. He said he started his channel with the intention of trying to put information out there to better ourselves. When there's a problem, the first step to improvement, or cure, or whatever, is to acknowledge there's a problem. And we're at the point where a lot of us, black men, no matter what level we're on, blue collar, white collar, corporate, entertainment, we're feeling that we're at the point of no return, like this problem can't be fixed. In order for that to happen, there has to be self-examination on the part of our black women. Say, how can I work on myself to be a better partner? Maybe I need to stop running through guys and twerking on Instagram and just bragging about my looks and that I think are never going to go away. And that's another thing we're going to get into. Looks don't last forever, and that's the thing. Between that age of like 18 to 25-ish, they think nothing's going to change. They think they're going to be the same availability and that dynamic of women, and that's not the case at all. Now we got that out of the way. Shout out to Club Shay Shay, Shannon Sharp, for that excerpt with him and Cat Williams. Shout out to K-Molt TV for the other two clips. We're at a crossroads in the African American community. So many things that we need to improve as a community, but especially with our women. And that's what this is about. I know there's things that men need to improve on also, but this podcast is about women and relationships and the dynamic and how they've just crumbled. So the first thing is, men always have, their value increases with age. Our value increases with age, the older we are. We're always going to have options. And that's because of one or two things. Men don't really reach their financial prime until between the ages of 35 and 42, something like that. So hot girl summers, going around looking for men, young boys your age that are not mature, because women do mature faster than men, mentally, emotionally. They're seeking after men who don't have resources. That age group, that age range between 20 and 25, back in their minds, women want love, but they're going about it the wrong way. You're not going to get a guy that wants to take you seriously if all you're doing is smashing on the first or second date, if all you're doing is looking at him for what he has, his resources, you're twerking on Instagram, if you're leaving nothing to the imagination. That brings your value down. Men value exclusivity. Exclusive women, we value exclusivity. Men do not value women with multiple partners. We don't value women with high body counts. We don't value women with multiple children before marriage. There used to be a time when that was looked upon, that was frowned upon by the community. Big mama, grandmother would always have that speech with the young girls before they went off to college: don't bring back any packages. That's gone, that's out the window. The delusion that's existing in today's society with our African American women is, I can have 2 and 3 kids. I can have my situation financially, whatever it is, how modest it is, but I can require you to be making 6 figures, have a 6-pack, and be 6 foot. That's crazy, because there are so many great men that are overlooked that financially they're making between $40,000 to $50,000 a year. Before Instagram monetization, before OnlyFans, the average American black woman makes $27,000 a year. That's it. 27 on the high end, $30,000 a year. All this other income that's spawned from entertainment, revealing your body on social media, on the internet, making money on OnlyFans. First of all, men don't value women that put themselves out there like that. We just don't. They think we like raptor nails, long weaves. There's nothing wrong with weaves now, not long hair pieces and things like that. There's a lot that has to be said about fashion and things like that. But I'm just going about what the metrics say, what black men say nationwide. We don't like weaves. We actually prefer natural beauty. you really don't see any other race of women wearing nails that are 3 or 4 inch long. They get in the way of work, they get in the way of everything. But there's just certain things that black women do and certain characteristics they exhibit that they think make them more appealing, and they really don't. So natural beauty, natural hair, but more importantly, a very presentable personality, a conducive personality. You have to be able to have a conversation. So much masculinity in a lot of today's women where you can't even hold a conversation. If you're in a teaching industry, some type of instructional industry, or personal training, nutrition, therapy, a lot of them are very argumentative. And my job, my work, I was trying to explain to someone how YouTube works and how you actually support someone by, when you subscribe to the channel, you don't really support someone unless you hit the notification bell so you can actually click on the videos, hit the thumbs up, and also leave a comment, and then YouTube shares the video with more viewers. But I was trying to explain to them that, just subscribing and not looking at videos and just seeing which ones come up in feed. Many videos don't even come up in the feed unless you hit the notification button. I literally tried to say what I just told you guys for 15 minutes, but I kept getting cut off and cursed at with an elevated, augmented voice, masculine voice coming out of a beautiful black woman's mouth. It's crazy. That's the state of so many of our women. I'm not going to say it's causation, but it's definitely correlation. In the African American community, 80% of our African American women are obese. And that goes to work ethic, laziness, self-worth, pride, lack of just organization, things like that. But the same woman I tried to talk to, coworker, tried to tell me that those metrics are wrong and tried to include the metrics of black men that were obese and combine them, and that makes their numbers better. And that's the thing. African American men, yes, there are some that are obese, but we're talking about women, and our numbers are nowhere near 80%. Actually, if you go into gyms, any gyms, you'll see predominantly men. Like in the 80s and 90s, it was like 90% men. It's a lot of women working out. But if you go in any gym across America, there's some spots that are like very concentrated amounts of black women that are in business and fitness, Atlanta, things like that. But across the board, nationwide, you'll be very hard pressed to see hundreds of women, black women in the gym, where their numbers are equal to other ethnicities. You see Asians, you see Caucasians, you see some Hispanics, but basically you see Asians and you see Caucasians. They make up the vast majority of women that are in the gym, the vast majority of women that are jogging outside. Just facts. You can look all this stuff up, guys. So one of the remedies to that, I always talk to my clients, followers, people like that, and I say, well, you have to schedule your daily life. You have to make fitness a priority. Just gotta totally revamp your schedule. Make time, whether it's 15 minutes or half an hour, to start getting in some cardio. Strength training, get a personal trainer, go with a girlfriend. And I preach this to blue in the eyes, and you have to have it in you. You just can't keep going to your work or to the grocery store and buying toxic foods. You got to start reading the labels on the back of processed foods. You got to start eliminating processed foods. And we as African Americans do that the least. We have the highest instances of blood pressure, high blood pressure, diabetes, things like that. And it's because of what we're putting in our mouth. And these foods, all ethnicities have the same access to all these toxic foods. But guess what? We all have the same access to healthy foods too. We walk down the same grocery store aisles. I've heard arguments about, well, they put all these toxic fast food venues in lower income, or they're very concentrated in African American communities. That's true, but it's also in African American communities. Acme, ShopRite, Walmart's, Costco's, BJ's, Trader Joe's, Wegmans, you can drive to them. It may be like 20 minutes away, but it's a choice to put chicken nuggets from McDonald's in your body And it's a choice to put organic chicken breast in your mouth. It's a choice. It's a choice to put Popeyes, on the plan for dinner tonight. It's a choice to put Carrabba's. You can eat out healthy. And one thing to start this, trend of turning around, better health for our women, better communication skills, better dating dynamics is listen. We got to stop being so argumentative. We got to listen. One of the things you got to realize, guys, is two main reasons why women's value decreases over time. It's not a shot at women, it's not shade, anything like that, but it just does. As you age and you get closer to high-risk pregnancies, if family is your ultimate goal, if you want to have a family, you can't be having your hot girl summers at age 35, okay? You can't be having your hot girl summers in your late 20s into your mid 30s, and that's what a lot of our African American women do. Now, a lot of our women don't like the word most. They like to use the word some. They say all black women aren't the same. All black women aren't obese, and that's true. But guess what? It's not 20%. It's not 40%. It's most. So I talk, I have certain coworkers and people that are in my circle, and they say, well, man, you're all black. And I said, no, if you don't fit that category, if you don't fall into that dynamic, then I'm not talking about you. We're not talking about you. But the vast majority, the sad reality is that most women across America, most African women across America, most African American women across America are obese. Most African American women across America don't have sustainable, healthy relationships with a black man. And the thing is, they say, well, it's the men too. You know what? They say black men are this, black men are that, they be dads, or they don't care, they cheat, this, that, and the other. And the thing is, dynamically across the board, if black men are the problem, and this massive a problem, then why are they leaving? After having years trying to invest in black women, why are they leaving these relationships and having success with other ethnicities? Women of other ethnicities. And the thing is, a lot of people don't like to hear, you can learn from someone who's doing something better than you. Someone knows how to play chess better than me, I don't care what color they are, I'm gonna learn. They need to teach me some strategies that I need to focus on. If someone is doing something better than you and having better results, having more success, then you need to check. You don't even have to go sit in a room and learn. You can just go in public, go to the mall and see how Asian women interact with the men. I've never seen an Asian woman start a fight in Walmart and start arguing or cursing someone. It's just, you can look at the dynamics that they execute while they're in public with their men. That's it, But a lot of stuff, is just so abroad. There's just so many different areas that I think social media has a little bit to do with it, but not all, maybe 20%. The rest is personal decisions. So, like I said, at age 35, that wall, high-risk pregnancy, geriatric pregnancy. So you're out there trying to find a man, even if you have a nice body at 35, guess what? You're no longer your 25-year-old self. That version is gone. So when you were that age and you were acquiring all these men's attention, guess what? Now their attention is directed to other 25-year-olds who don't have a child, who are not obese, who are not toxic, who don't have a high body count, and they have to filter through those girls too. But guess what? They may find one or two that don't have a lot of baggage, and they might wife them up. That's why it's so important to make smart decisions early on for African American women. If you look up the metrics, most Caucasian women, especially the Ivy League and corporate daughters of corporate households, and Asian women, Caucasian women, they actually vet and seek out their life partners a lot of times in college. What are you in college? 18 years old, 19, a freshman, 20. In college. If they have hot girl summers, it's between the age of 16 and 19. They seek out, they meet their life partners in college while they're acquiring or pursuing their education. This is the dynamic. We have to totally go backwards and reverse our thinking, because social media, a lot of these are simping behind podcasts, and They cater to women's emotions and not their actual growth. You know, got them totally lied to, got them thinking that the world is your oyster, and it's like Samuel said, the Disney fantasy world where you are entitled to everything, super entitled. You know, you're a 7, you're thinking you're a 10. You're 5'5", 180 pounds, and you think nothing's wrong, and you just keep drinking soda and eating Popeyes. Not checking your attitude, trying to work on yourself emotionally to see where you can improve as a human being, as a woman, and as a partner. And that's the main thing. Seeing where you can improve as a human being, a woman, and as a partner. That will resolve a lot of issues. So Simone, in this clip we just saw, she's acknowledging her husband. She's saying, you have to address me as Mrs. Owens. That's her husband's name. You know, the husband is the provider, the protector, that's sacred. You have these toxic women that are denouncing that just because she is an Olympic gold medalist, one of the greatest of all time, that somehow trumps her devotion to her man, to her husband. This is the reality we live in today. This is the society we live in today. Those ratchet, angry women on the other side that are proud that, you know, Simone is the African-American superstar that she is, are not willing to acknowledge the man that she chose as her life partner. Like, just because, you know, because she's an Olympic athlete, he's nothing, and he should be subservient to her. You know, a remedy to all of our problems, really all of our problems, is to go back and reconstitute our lives according to what the Bible says. That's really the remedy of all of our problems. When there's a 2-parent household, the likelihood of kids being strung out on drugs or dropping out of high school is significantly lower. Effeminate men being raised is lower because you have a masculine figure in that household raising them right. Young women who don't know what real love is, there's a less of a tendency for them to go out and have a high body count because you got a father that shows that father's love to the daughter's first love is to her father. It's a different type of love, but these are things that we can fix. But because of society and this hot girl summer thing and, you know, independence and feminist movement, you got women wanting to be men, wanting to talk like men, act like men, get the bag like a man, say, I don't need a man, you know, and after a certain amount of time, if they do want women, children, they got to go to a sperm bank. They got to, it's crazy. Things, we're doing backwards as a society. We're doing things backwards as opposed to what the Bible says, you know. You know, women are our helpmeet. They are our companion. They're supposed to assist us and nurture and provide comfort. When we go out to work, we have to deal with things in the world with the man. We don't want to come back home to arguments and stress and nonsense, an unclean house. Some of the traditional values women are frowned upon, like, I'm too good to clean, I'm too good to cook. Well, guess what? Before you got your job, what did you do? Did you cook for yourself? Did you cook for your 1 or 2 children? Yes, I cook for them because I have to. Okay, so if you acquire an initial relationship with a man and you guys become exclusive, his value is not high enough that you can cook for him, vetting him to be a potential husband. This is where we're at today in this society. So we have to, you know, take a step back and have some real conversations with our husbands, with our boyfriends, with our girlfriends. And this, like I said, this areas that men need to improve on. Maybe communication, you know, choosing better partners. But right now we're talking about how women today are more masculine than ever. There's a lot of effeminate men out there, but women today are more masculine than ever. And that is the main culprit for destruction, or not even, you can't even, you know, initiate a wholesome relationship with a man because you're trying to be, you got that energy. Men don't want masculine women. We're already masculine. We don't want argumentative women. We don't want women that degrade us in public. We don't want women that have high body counts, you know? And everyone has a past, and you can change those dynamics. But the thing is, femininity, cooperation, being assisting, loving heart, nurturing, these are qualities that men want and love. We don't care about how much money you make. Because, dynamically, we're supposed to be the providers. There's nothing wrong with a woman making more than her man. Nothing wrong at all. But the thing is, to the point where you're throwing that in his face and demeaning him and trying to ascertain or take control of the household because you make more money. If you make $100,000 a year and your husband makes $50,000 a year, he's still your husband. Biblically, he still is the head of the household. And a lot of women have gotten this monetary, infatuation, this monetary entitlement where they think because I make more money and then I make all the rules. Biblically, that's not how it goes. Really. They want all of the success. They want all of the acquisitions without putting in like real work. Back in the day, for a woman to make $90,000, she had to be the head of a multi-million-dollar corporation. Now you got OnlyFans. Anyone with a nice body can twerk her behind and get on there and make money. But you'll never find, just like Kevin Samuels said, you'll never find a woman going to work on an oil rig. On mass quantities, you'll never find a woman doing hard, bigger construction. Okay? How many women you see in NASCAR racing? How many women do you see working at the bottom of the sea on rigs, underwater welding, the dangerous jobs? So this whole thing about I can be equal to a man, I can do anything a man. God created us in certain ways, and we need to stay in our lane. We need to stay in our purpose, our design. That's how God designed you. He didn't design you to try to be a man. Just like I'm gonna do a video on this too. A lot of effeminate men wearing these pants sagging down. You women, go for that. You're dating these guys. I see it out in public all the time. And these men don't even know that that is a sign to other men that they are open sexually. To other men. That started in prison. There's a lot of dynamics that we need to work on to repair our relationships in the African American community, but it's really out of hand right now. It's out of control to the point where men's dating pool is so thin. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack. It's just simple math, okay? If I put my hand inside of a fish tank full of 10, poisonous snakes and I keep getting bitten, and there's a fish tank over here with a harmless mouse that just wants some food, I'm gonna stick my hand in there, feed him. There are great black women out there, but in 2024, they're so few and far between. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack. And should a 24-year-old man or 28-year-old man or 30-year-old man take 5 years, weaning through those? Or just, how about like the woman that likes him, that respects him? And that's what it all boils down to, guys, is respect. Because as a woman, if you respect a man and you want to remain exclusive with him, you're not going to be ratchet. You're not going to be twerking for other men on the internet. You're not going to be argumentative. You're going to let him speak. You're going to have you're going to have conducive conversation with him. You're not going to be a burden. You're not going to be a liability. You're going to be an asset, as he will be to you. And that's what it really boils down to. What's really boils down to is communication and respect. But we really have to change the dynamic of, relationships and not let social media and outside influences really control our behavior, which is stopping us from gaining great, long-term and fulfilling relationships. That's all I got from you guys today. I hope it wasn't too lengthy, but this is something that really needed to be said. There's a lot of things that people put out there. If you're alpha, you got toxic masculinity. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity, because every clip, every scenario that I've seen, most times, I'm not talking about a man abusing a woman verbally or physically. That is toxic. I'm talking about regular relationships. A man, I'm controlling and monitoring and, streamlining his household, saying, baby, I don't want you to wear that. You don't need to wear that. It's too provocative. It's too suggestive. That's not controlling. They flip the narratives in a lot of our women's head to say it's something as trivial as that is controlling? No, that's called respect to your husband or your boyfriend. So most of what they say is toxic masculinity is not toxic masculinity. It's just pushback from women that want super independence. And they can get that, but if you ride out with independence your whole life as a woman, you'll never get a companion. You'll remain single your whole life. You don't want to die alone. All right, that's it for me, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Tap in, comment, let me know what you guys think. And also tune into my channel for tons of fitness, nutrition, and wellness content. But these are some things that we can definitely change or work on to improve the mental health of our black women. I'll see you next time.